What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be a little bit shorter than normal, and we're going to be doing something a little bit different than normal. So behind me here we've got my buddy Dylan's truck. I'll throw his Instagram up on the screen right here. But we think this thing nicked a head gasket. I'll throw in a clip at some point of this thing starting up the last time he was over here. White smoke like crazy out the tailpipe. And also when he got here today, I reached over and grabbed the upper radiator hose, and this thing was hard as a rock. We let it sit for a while. It was still super hard. So we're pretty sure that it nicked a head gasket. So I don't know if you guys have seen it, but this stuff is all over the shelves at AutoZone, Advance, places like that. They have a whole bunch of different types. So we figured we'd go ahead and give this stuff a try. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to keep you up to date anytime we put out a video with the GTO, the Duramax, or the Hellcat. Let's jump right into today's video. Race truck. And you got all that horse torques, gotta have head studs. Alright guys, so I just wanted to go ahead and throw this clip in here and show you guys how bad this thing was smoking. This was every time we would start this thing up after it sat for about an hour or anything longer. It would do this every single time, and the radiator hose would get really hard. Alright guys, so on the bottle here we're using K-Seal, and it gives you a bunch of different options and directions on the bottle itself. But I think what we're going to do is we're just going to add it to the radiator. Since it's low already, we're going to add the K-Seal, then we will top it off with coolant. Then we're going to start this thing up, let it run to operating temperature, heat and all that stuff turned off. Going to let it run till it's at operating temperature. We're going to shut it down, let it cool for a while, and we will come back out, do that one more time, and then we're just going to have to wait and see if this thing still smokes afterwards. Here goes nothing. That's pretty funky looking. Lightly used bottle of K-Seal for sale, $49.99. Bottle of K-Seal and 2 bottles of coolant later. I think it's full. So let's go ahead and start this thing up. We'll let it get up to operating temperature. Obviously it might smoke on this first start up here because the stuff hasn't had a chance to work. So we're gonna let it run and then we'll come back in a while after it cools back down, try it again, let it do the same thing, and then we'll have Dylan keep an eye on it and see what happens over the next day or two. So let's go ahead and fire this thing up. There's some smoke still. Like I said, this is obviously, this stuff hasn't had a chance to try to seal the issue yet. But this is what he's been dealing with every time he lets it sit in, like overnight or for a few hours. When he goes to start it back up, the coolant works its way into the cylinders. So when he starts it up, it's full of coolant, and then you get smoke. Stuff, you can just tell by the smell of it, 100% coolant. This is what we're trying to get rid of with that K-Seal stuff. I'm really curious to see if this stuff's actually gonna work. Still smoking a little bit. Like I said, it's gonna take a while. We're gonna have to do a couple heat cycles according to the instructions on this stuff for it to work. Not sure that it's gonna work, but it was definitely worth a try. I was curious and I figured I'd share it with you guys and let you know if it works. Obviously, he doesn't plan on this being a long-term fix. He just wants it to get him through for a little while longer, try to keep the truck running a little bit longer while he can save up and get something a little bit newer and a little bit nicer. If it wasn't for this New England rust, it'd be a good-looking truck. All right, guys, so we let this thing run up to temperature. It's been sitting here idling for a few minutes. We're gonna go ahead and shut it down, let it cool down, and then once it gets all the way cooled down again, we will fire it up, let it do this one more time up to operating temperature, and then we're gonna have to just let them send it and see what happens over the next couple days here. All right, guys, as you can see, it has gotten dark on us, but we did what the instructions said. We let it sit for a while, cool all the way back down, and now we're gonna fire it back up. It might have a little bit of residual smoke in it right now, but we're gonna have Dylan follow along with a camera for the next couple days and see if it gets any better or worse. So let's go ahead and fire this thing up. Bro. No way, dude. No way did this stuff just work.
That doesn't even make sense.
We didn't start this thing up or anything before I pulled the camera out, guys. This thing's really not smoking right now. Guaranteed it would normally smoke. I'll even show you the temp gauge just so you know it's cold. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's bone cold. I can't believe that. K-Seal, guys. As of right now, it definitely seems like it's working. So let's have Dylan follow along with the camera for a couple days and see what happens with this thing. All right, guys, so I just wanted to show you. Usually this hose would be hard as a rock. I mean, it's a little firm, but right now I can squeeze it fine. And we were just noticing, I mean, it obviously doesn't sound perfect, but it actually sounds smoother than it did before, which is kind of crazy. I mean, it says on the bottle to give it a couple heat cycles. He's gonna drive it easy for a couple days so he can keep in touch with us and give us some clips and stuff. But I mean, as of right now, this stuff seems like it's working, guys. I honestly can't believe it. We're both kind of in shock. So let's see what happens with it. I can't believe it, guys. Absolutely nothing out of this truck so far. No smoke. It actually seemed to be running smoother. I can't believe it. I really did not think it was gonna work. I thought it, if anything, it was gonna help a little bit, but it literally got rid of all the smoke. So, like I said, Dylan's gonna stay in touch with us. I gave him a camera. He's gonna take some shots for us over the next week or so, and we're gonna see if this stuff continues to work. If it does, I will make sure to let you guys know. So let's hold off a little bit here and see what happens. Well guys, I don't know if you are as surprised as I am that this stuff actually seemed to work. We used the K-Seal. I think I showed it to you at the beginning of the video, but I'll give you a good look at it now that it's nice in daylight so you can actually see it. This is the stuff that we decided to use, and the stuff worked amazing. I mean, there's no way about it. He's been driving it back and forth to work daily, driving this thing a half hour to work and a half hour home every day. Drove it the hour home from here after we did this stuff, and then he drove back down this weekend, drove it the hour here, sat in traffic for like an hour, and drove it an hour home, and this thing hasn't missed a beat. I am extremely impressed that this stuff is holding in. Without a doubt, that truck had nicked the head gasket, and this stuff definitely seems to be holding it off and getting him a little bit more time out of the truck. Today was a little bit of a shorter video for you guys, but we were going to try it out, so I figured I'd share it with you guys and show you if it worked or not. To my surprise, it definitely does seem to be working. But as always guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one.